the first chapter, revisiting irrational numbers, one of the proofs we are having is root 2 is irrational. To prove this root 2 is irrational, first you should know the theorem, right? This theorem you should know. What is this theorem? This theorem is based on the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So first you should know the proof of this theorem. Then only you can understand that root 2 is irrational proof, right? What is this theorem statement is, let P be a prime number. If P divides A square, then P divides A, where A is a positive integer. Here what is P? P is a prime number. If P divides A square, then P also divides A. That you have to prove here, where A is positive integer. For proving this theorem, you have to consider the prime factorization of A as P1 into P2 into up to so on Pn, where P1, P2, Pn, all these are the prime numbers. There is no condition that all primes are distinct only here. What is prime factorization? No need to explain, right? Let me take one example. Suppose that you have taken 30 here. What is the prime factorization of 30 here? 2 into 3 into 5, right? So this is nothing but prime factorization. Writing a number as a product of its prime factors is nothing but prime factorization. Here 2, 3, 5 are the prime factors of 30, right? In the same way, here we are assuming A as a product of all its primes here. Product of all its primes. There is no condition that all primes are distinct here, different. There is no condition that all are different here. That may be same also. If you take another number 81 here, what is the prime factorization of 81 here? 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, right? All you are getting same prime only, not distinct primes here. That's why they are telling that not necessarily distinct here. There is no condition that all are different here. Here if you observe the statement, P divides A square is there. So you have to do squaring on both sides here. So you will get A square is equal to P1, P2, Pn and P1, P2, Pn. If you do squaring on both sides, you will get P1 square into P2 square up to so on Pn square. In the statement, it is given that P divides A square. What is the statement here they have given? What is the statement they have given here? P divides A square. So it is given that P divides A square. So, from the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, P is one of the prime factors of A square. From the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. We will go back to our example again. See here, 30 is equal to 2 into 3 into 5 I said. According to the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, this 2 is one of the prime factors of 30, as well as this 3 is one of the prime factors of 30, as well as this 5 is also one of the prime factor of 30, isn't it? In this case also, 3 is the one of the prime factors of 81, right? This is a fundamental theorem of arithmetic, right? So here, P divides A square, therefore P is one of the prime factors of A square. However, using the uniqueness part of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What is the uniqueness part of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? See here, if you take the prime factorization of 30 here, how will you do? Like this you will do, right? So what are the prime factors you are getting here? 2 into 3 into 5. Let me do in another way. Suppose that I am starting with like this. Again you are getting 3, 2, 5, which are nothing but 2 into 3 into 5 only. Are you getting different prime factors here? No, right? In all the 3 cases, you are getting the prime factors as 2, 3, 5 only. 2 into 3 into 5 only. This is nothing but uniqueness of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. You will get the prime factors same only. You won't get other prime factors. So what are the 30 prime factors here? 2, 3, 5. In the same way here, P is one of the prime factors of A square, but here we are getting that A square is equal to P1 square, P2 square, Pn square, right? So, using the uniqueness part of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, this P1, P2, Pn are the only prime factors of A square, isn't it? So, P is one of these P1, P2, Pn only. There is no other extra P, right? That P should be either P1 or P2 or somewhere in the middle in this only. This P is not from the outside, right? So, Since A is equal to P1 into P2 into Pn, that P divides A only. Clearly we can see that P divides A.
Let me explain you again.
So finally here P divides A square. So P is one of the prime factors of A square. And also we are writing here A square is equal to P1, P2, Pn, etc. Right? So these are all P1, P2, Pn are the only prime factors of A square. There are no other prime factors. Therefore, that P should be in this P1, P2, Pn only. There is no other P here. One of the factors of in this only. That may be either P1 or P2 or Pn. Therefore, finally P divides A.
I will tell one example for this theorem. Listen it.
So 81 is equal to, we have written 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, right? 81 is nothing but 9 square. All of you know this, right? So here 9 square we can write like this now. If 3 divides 9 square, is it divides 9 or not? That is nothing but P divides A square, P also divides A. Are you understanding my point? If 3 divides 9 square, this 3 also divides this 9. So here P is equal to 3, A is equal to 9.